Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a book that's an absolute game changer, Charles Duhigg's Supercommunicators. We're going to unlock some secrets to help us all connect just a little bit better. All right, let's start with a feeling I'm pretty sure we've all had. You know that moment, you're in a conversation, you're talking, they're talking, but you can just feel it in your gut. Nothing is connecting. It's that super frustrating feeling where you're just talking past each other. And this right here, this is exactly why it happens. See, on the surface, you think you're just talking about weekend plans. Simple stuff, right? But what's really going on underneath is a totally different conversation. It's about feeling unappreciated, about being taken for granted. So you've got two conversations happening at once, and they're both going absolutely nowhere. So what's the deal, right? How do some people just get it? They seem to effortlessly connect with everyone, they can navigate these tricky situations, and just build real rapport. Well, Charles Duhigg has a name for them. He calls them supercommunicators. And this is their secret weapon. It's not about being super witty or having some kind of magic charisma. No, the real secret is so much simpler, but so much more powerful. It's all about understanding what kind of conversation you're actually in. It's about seeing that hidden layer that most of us just miss. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. The core idea of this whole book is something Duhigg calls the matching principle. And trust me, this is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. So what is it? Well, the principle is actually pretty simple, but it is so powerful. Basically, for a conversation to work, you first have to figure out what kind of conversation it is. You got to diagnose it. And only then can you match its vibe, its energy, its purpose. And here's the part that blew my mind. It turns out that all our conversations, every single messy, complicated, amazing one, can be boiled down to just 3 basic types. That's it. Just 3. Okay, first up, the practical conversation. This is your, what's this really about kind of talk. Think planning a trip, deciding what's for dinner, solving a problem at work. It's all about logistics, getting from point A to point B. It's a head conversation. Then you've got the total opposite, the emotional conversation. Here, the goal is not to fix anything. It's about sharing feelings, it's about empathy. The big question is just, how do we feel? This is a heart conversation. And number 3, the social conversation. This one's about identity. It's about our values, our place in the world, how we fit in. It's asking, who are we? As a group, as a society. And let me tell you, when you mismatch this one, that's where things can get really explosive. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. The CIA, of all places, learned this lesson the hard way. They had recruiters like this guy, Jim Lawler, who just kept striking out. Why? Because they were trying to have a practical conversation. Hey, come work for us, when the people they were talking to needed an emotional one. These potential agents needed to feel like, for the first time in their lives, someone truly understood them. That's the matching principle, right there in the real world. All right, so figuring out the type of conversation, that's step 1. That gets you in the game. But if you want to level up, if you want to become a true super communicator, you've got to go deeper. This is where the real magic happens. You start listening for the hidden want. What's the unspoken thing that's really driving this whole chat? A super communicator doesn't just hear the words, they hear the desire that's hiding underneath. Let's look at this surgeon, Dr. Bayfar Idei. For years, he thought his job was to have practical conversations. He'd just unload tons of data and statistics on his cancer patients, thinking that's what they needed. But he was totally missing the point. They weren't there for a data dump. They were trying to have an emotional conversation. They needed to talk about their fears, about their families, about what life was going to look like. So he completely changed his approach. He stopped leading with facts and started asking about feelings, about values, about fears. And the result? Get this. A 30% drop in unnecessary surgeries. Incredible, right? By learning to communicate better, he literally became a better doctor. And that's the key takeaway right there. The way you unlock what a conversation is really about is by asking better questions. We have to move past what do you think and start asking things like, how does that make you feel? Or what's the biggest worry for you in all this? Those are the questions that open the door to real connection. Okay. This all sounds great when everyone's getting along, but what about when they're not? What about the tough stuff? The big arguments, the heated disagreements, the moments when it feels like you're not just on different pages, but in different galaxies. Well, Duhigg dives right into one of the most polarized issues you can imagine, gun control in America. Researchers set up this incredible experiment. They brought people from the most extreme opposite sides of this debate into one room, just to see if it was even possible for them to talk. And the tool they used is called looping for understanding. It's this brilliant, simple 3-step process. All you do is repeat back what you heard someone say, ask if you got it right, and then ask what you might be missing. The goal isn't to agree. The goal is just to prove that you're actually listening, not just reloading for your next argument. The result? It was absolutely profound. I mean, just read this quote from one of the participants. They weren't trying to change anyone's mind. They weren't trying to win. The whole point was just understanding. And for these people, just the feeling of being truly heard for the first time, well, that changed everything. All right, so after all of that, the stories, the science, the CIA, what can we actually use? Let's boil it all down into a practical toolkit you can start using today. Here it is, your Supercommunicator Toolkit. 4 simple steps. 1. Diagnose. Is this practical, emotional, or social? 2. Match. Get on the same page. Don't offer a spreadsheet when someone needs a hug. 3. Ask. Ask those deeper questions to find out what's really going on. And 4. Loop. Especially when things get tense, prove you're listening. And that really leaves us with one final question. I want you to think about it. We all have that one conversation, right? The one that's stuck, the one that's broken, maybe the one you're too afraid to even start. So, now that you have these tools, which important conversation in your life are you going to transform?